Is this friendly? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like set at the end of a friendly session.
Was it on net play or just on Dolphin?
This is on NetPlay.
Okay.
We have a pretty decent connection, but yeah, still NetPlay.
Yeah. It just helps because obviously it still is different, so I can judge better, what's going on.
Yeah.
What am I searching? Uh, Cheap for smart. Okay. And you wanted to watch the second game, it looks like.
Anything's fine, really. I was just timestamped there. Let's see. Where'd you send that back?
I sent it in the current one.
Oh, got it.
Oh, so did you want to watch anything from that timestamp? Because that's like in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I had nothing in particular. I think yeah, this could be like the middle could be good.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, was there like a specific spot of that match you wanted to talk about?
Oh no, I don't have anything specific that I want to
Oh,
work
okay,
on.
okay.
I
I just
guess
wasn't sure. It linked to like an edge guard, so I was.
yeah, I guess off the top of my head, things that I would want to focus on are just the edge guard like flowchart and potentially some optimizations about like getting out of aerials and getting off of
Yeah,
platforms.
this will be easy to talk. Um, so let's see. Yeah, classic versus Marth issue is not dealing with him being airborne effectively. I think it's very tricky because he both has big drift and big range, which is not very common.
Yep.
Like once you fast fall to the ground, for example, so you're about to fast fall to the ground, he jumped off. I think you really need to think about how to play this situation, just because it's a pretty common thing where Marth's airborne, you're on the ground. So honestly, like up tilt, for example, would have destroyed what he did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But on the flip side, if he held completely back and fully spaced himself, even after jumping forward, he probably. Actually, I don't know. He jumped pretty far forward. I actually think he should have just up tilted. But then there's also the fact that Marth can double jump, and it can get tricky, right?
Yeah.
Get real tricky real fast. So I really want you to just think about it, And let's watch it here and just tell me if it looks like, yeah, like the up tilt was free or not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think with his drift outside of the double jump.
He jumped very far forward, right?
Yeah. Other than the double jump, I think I was good. He went pretty
Honestly,
low.
You also could have even hit him out of the air. I think people are too afraid to challenge Marth in the air. And a big thing is like, sure he could fair or dare earlier to hit you, but you're at 0%. You don't give a fuck. If you see him jump off that platform and you're grounded, you could just jump up and hit him.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think it's deceptive, but extremely important to be aware of. It's something even I feel like I need to work on constantly.
Right.
It's just really having a good understanding of what happens once they jump. But let's keep watching. Because it's funny that by dashing back, you gave him a free tip or fair, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So defensively, let's talk about this. So you get up thrown. So is that mistech intentional?
No, that is not. I think I probably tried to like buffer jump, missed it, and then didn't do anything.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. I actually don't know if you can jump before hitting that platform.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I've been just trying to. Go ahead.
I don't think you can personally.
Okay.
It's tricky. I don't know. Maybe you can. It's probably just tricky timing. But yeah, these are defensive things you want to work on, right? Actually, you probably could have gotten it. I think you could have. He pummeled once, which changes things.
Yeah.
And then it seems like you react really slow when you shielded.
Okay.
Like, look how long it took you to react to him jumping up and fairing once you shielded on the top platform.
Yeah, definitely seems slow.
Oh, more importantly, funnily enough, I've seen even top players make this mistake, and I don't understand it because I think it's actually a really obvious thing to fix. and you make the same mistake here. After you get up tilted, you double jump out of the combo, and I want you to tell me what I think is wrong with this after you double jump.
Yeah, sure.
Right there. There's one thing I think is very explicitly wrong with this.
Let me watch. I guess landing on the platform might not be the best option. Let me see.
I can give you a hint and say it's more about how you land on the platform.
Yeah, I think I can change directions maybe with like a waveland.
Maybe. There's something oh, with a waveland?
Yeah.
When would you wave?
I guess like let me watch this. Yeah, like not during the landing, but like I shouldn't have gone past the platform in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And you would be surprised how many people make that mistake. So is it obvious why it's so important to just waveland as you rise through the platform?
Yeah, I just have so much time in that case. Like it's pointless to, you know, the other answer would be to like land and do a waveland, but I've already given up that time. That's more of a cover than like a preventative.
And by not wavelanding immediately, you actually give them a chance to read your jump.
Yeah.
Because had he just up tilted and then jumped up there, he could have punished you for jumping, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you double jump instant waveland, even if he reads it, he can't punish you.
Yeah.
And it's funny how many people don't do this. I've seen Shroom not do this. I've seen Swedish not do it. I've seen tons of people just not waveland there, even though the waveland's completely free.
Right.
And I think having proper defense is very easy. Because you clearly jumped because you knew he wasn't going to combo you. Yeah, I feel like you're making a lot of pretty common errors for Smart. So here, for example, I feel like when I ran off the top to the side, I would have turned around needled.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and it's pretty free to go for, right?
Yeah, especially especially since he's in the air. I think I like just didn't react. I probably just decided I'm going this way.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal because what ends up happening is he gets to land next to you and you end up in a mix-up situation.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, he probably didn't up tilt very intentionally. Like, he didn't plan on beating your dash dance. It just kind of worked out. Some Unga up tilt, big range shit. But
Sure.
realistically, had you needled him, you wouldn't have even been in this situation. And that's not a situation you really want to be in versus Martha.
Right.
Okay, so your ledge game is quite that. Let's talk about that. What do you think made me say that based on, like, just this clip?
Let's see. I guess there are two things I do. I go for the needle like cheese, and also like I lose invincibility by not dropping off the ledge very quickly.
Yes, those are definitely the two things. The needle and just you're very, very slow at moving between each iteration of the ledge.
Yeah.
Also, on your ledge dashes, you wait too long to air dodge consistently. I saw you do 2 ledge dashes, and on both of them, I think you waited too long.
Okay.
Have we talked about ledge dash tech skill before?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So let's talk about it real quick. I'll run you through quick summary, because it seems like you obviously have okay ledge dashes at least.
Sure.
So when you ledge dash, the first step is obviously if you let go of the edge quickly, you'll have more invincibility. That one's obvious. But the most important thing that I think is less obvious is jumping frame perfectly after you let go of the edge is extremely important.
Yeah, I have like I'm aware of how to do all the things. Like I've set up the 20xx stuff for all of it, for like every single frame that you could lose, the jump, the drop, you know, the wave dash angle. I just haven't practiced it, so.
Okay, that's important then. As long as you know, especially I want to emphasize jumping frame perfectly though.
Okay.
If you don't jump frame perfectly, what you'll end up doing is naturally delaying your air dodge to make sure you don't SD. But then that makes it so that even when you do jump perfectly, you get a mediocre ledge dash.
Got it.
And that's bad for obvious reasons. Weird. When you grabbed here, you didn't boost grab, and I was surprised.
Yeah. It looks like I didn't jump cancel grab either, so I'm guessing this is a mistake.
So do you think you just meant to jump cancel?
No, I'm guessing, well, yeah, it's hard to say whether I meant to jump cancel or dash cancel, but I'm guessing I meant to boost grab. And just,
Yeah.
which is a weird mistake, I guess. Just like a
Yeah, it's a
technical
very weird mistake because I've never dash grab trying to boost grab. Really. That's not something that happens.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't say.
Yeah, that's fine. It's something worth thinking about, though. I think practicing boost grabs is actually really important to get like the far range ones.
Yeah, that stuff's super hard.
Yeah, I actually think it's hard and very relevant that you practice it.
Cool.
You were really slow after the dash attack. Just noting your tech skill. Did you see how long you stood still for after the dash attack hit?
Yeah, definitely.
Important because I think translating these small situations into advantages is actually a big part of this matchup. Ooh, I like that fair a lot. That was a really good. I love dashing all the way up to them and then jumping.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really, really good.
They're just so bad at moving forward.
Weird that you nared the tournament winner. I think you could have gotten a combo off that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, realistically, I probably wasn't looking for a combo. I think I threw out the nair as a, like, oh, I'm late, this will definitely hit kind of nair. But maybe knowing to convert, like, okay, yeah, maybe I felt like I was going to be bad on the fair, so I did the nair, but then instantly recognized, like, this could be a combo.
Yeah. So a big thing with nair is that the trajectory for it is higher than the trajectory for fair, right?
Yep.
So that's actually a pretty common situation where if you nair someone and they kind of do this DI right here, where it's the perfect range to connect a second aerial.
Got it.
And they'll usually DI that way because they're DIing for forward air.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's very rare for a Marth to jump here. I could even, like, shield drop fair, and that probably would have been a full conversion.
Mm-hmm. What I would have done is dash short hop fair.
Okay.
Like rising, probably. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. But yeah, having the idea in your mind that the nair is kind of a DI mix up with fair is pretty important. So let's talk about this. So you do this. This is good. I think you took too long to drop off the ledge for the nair. And I also would have done a bear, not a nair, because he was pretty far to the right of you.
Okay.
The nair can be good if he's closer, but if you look at where he is, I actually think he's pretty far to the right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like, you're saying, like, if I had done it earlier.
Yeah, if you dropped off the ledge faster and then you did a back air, that would have stopped him from grabbing the ledge.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this
But I do think the nair can be good. Another thing, though, is you want to look for side B, because watch the second time you grab the edge. Sure. So after you get up, you down smash, you grab the edge. Mm-hmm. I actually think you could have threatened with back air after he side beat up there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So watch carefully and tell me what you think. Let me go back. Let's see this. Do you think you could have threatened the side B with back air, like afterwards?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think in this situation, just reading his DI off like the down smash, I think I should have like reverse needled and then like, you know.
And then threatened somehow.
Yeah, like sharked it and then gone to ledge, you know, first.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you just grabbed the edge without any sort of threat attached, right?
Yeah.
I actually think you didn't push your advantages here. Let's watch this. So in the corner, when you respawn, let's talk about what happens.
Yep.
Wait, sorry, other way around. After you kill him. Okay, yeah, so watch this. So I feel like you avoided him pretty well, and then he still went for the grab, but you were so focused on just getting the center of the stage that you didn't actually play the situation. Because you actually ran out a lot of his invincibility, so by the time he went for the grab, his invincibility ended, and I think you could have just grabbed him.
Right.
Does that line up with how you see it?
Yeah, I don't think I have a very good sense of like when invincibility will run up.
And I think it's super important to have that.
Yeah, is it the same amount of time for everyone?
Yes, it's 2 seconds, I believe.
Okay.
And if you have a strong sense of it, you can see right after he finishes the grab. It's
Yeah.
funny, it lines up almost perfectly. His info running out with the grab lag.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty
And I feel
clean
like,
to me.
and then also, these needles are so important that you have them, and I really think being aware of how much leverage they give you is a big deal. Like, you're not wrong for using them because it is just a mix-up. Okay, just got deja vu. Did we talk about this once?
Um,
I'm not actually sure.
Not that I recall, but yeah, one of my goals this week is or like in the last 2 weeks, is to hit people with like 2 sets of charge needles and to use it in neutral as like a device.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is preemptive. Like clearly, I'm not reacting to this jump.
Well, which is fine because the whole idea is that he had to jump to not get hit by the needles, right?
Right.
And I think that's fine. It's all a mix-up because if he had just kept dash dancing, he would have gotten hit. The real thing I want you to do is just be aware of how much ridiculous leverage it gives you. That they have to do something.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the most underutilized like Sheik things currently.
Yeah, and I when I have a full set of needles, I spam needle cancel so much. I just needle cancel and then dash forward and jump.
Right, right. Shroom loves that shit.
It's so good. But yeah, so also here, when you rolled and he whiffed the grab, it just seems like very little part of your brain is focused on what's going on in the game situation, where you're focused on repositioning. Like your value, so like when you ran from top to side and you didn't needle, when you had him in the corner and you didn't punish the whiff grab, and then also here where he whiffs the grab and you roll, essentially it feels like if you're trying to just get out of the situation you're in to a new situation, you stop reacting to what's going on.
Yeah, I like that insight. Let me take a note of that.
I think that's a big one. Because overall, I feel like you play reactively, but when the priority is repositioning from a bad spot, you're not watching it. Because what do you think you could have done when you rolled and he went for the grab?
Let me see. Yeah, I think I could immediately like dash forward in that case. I think I could pre-charge needles. I think I could like walk up slowly.
I think if you boost grabbed, it would have been a true punish.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's a pretty big deal because you're getting him to whiff. Like he's taking these risks, but you're not really doing much with it.
Right.
So let's talk about this situation. It's actually really interesting. People don't understand how to drift well with Sheik, and I just want to talk about it briefly. So if you just short hop, you wait a bit, and then you fast follow your aerial, that obviously has one timing in a certain range. And for people to punish that, they will 100% of the time, I mean, it's just a guess, right? So if you just don't fast fall and drift fully forward or fully backwards, I guarantee you that they will start like getting hit or whiffing more.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So, I mean, since he's at 0, this is a bit different. But let's say he was at like a higher percent. If you short hop here and then just drift fully forward and then wait till the last second and fair, he would have ran into it and gotten hit by the fair. And I'm not saying you should do that every time, but it's an important aspect of Sheik's game that like a lot of people are not very good at using.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
In this case, because he's at 0, it's possible that what you could do is short hop, full drift forward, delay needle, and he might get hit by it.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I'm taking a note down, but my thought, I know why I probably didn't do that in this case. I don't think your global statement of just doing this will cause people to get hit by things because it's just another mix-up is totally true. In general, I really respect Umar to cross me up at like almost all points. So I think
well, if that's the case, I feel like you should do a more conservative drift then.
Yeah, that's fair.
You kind of did the middle of the ground drift where it was like a little bit conservative, but you still kind of were like near him.
Right.
Another thing though is I think wave landing is pretty good too.
Yeah, I think that's something I don't do at all.
Nice. Oh, you want to turn around on that up tilt. That's actually extremely important.
Okay. I'm guessing
Um,
like the second hit won't hit if I don't turn around and he DIs appropriately.
yes. And then after the next up tilt you land, you could have true comboed an up air. Let's watch this.
Yep.
So you get him on the platform, start up tilting. Yeah, you could have full jump up aired almost definitely.
Yeah.
Tell me if you see that and it makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that he lands afterwards, so I would say like there was a lot of time.
Yeah, I think so.
One interesting thing is I don't know much about the hitboxes with up air.
Okay.
So like I'm unclear. I was slightly surprised when you said full hop instead of short hop. It makes sense, like that'll lead into a bigger combo or an actual combo. Yeah, I guess I just have to play around with that.
So there's two types of sweet spots in Melee. There's timing sweet spots and spacing sweet spots. And Sheik's up air is a move where her entire body is a sweet spot on the early frames.
Okay. Good
So even like your literal head when you're flipped upside down will be a strong hit up air.
Okay. Really good to know.
Yeah. Sheik's back air is an example of a more spacing dependent.
Got it. Is it
So Sheik's back air is timing and spacing dependent instead of just timing dependent.
Sure. Like when you look through the frame data, is there like a term for that, or I don't know. I've never heard of that actually, but how's that represented? I guess, or is it?
It's just in the game's coding. I actually don't know. Most like frame data doesn't include that, but like you can kind of learn it over. Like another example is like Falcon's knee. It literally doesn't matter which part of the knee he hits with, as long as it's the early part.
Okay.
Does that make sense intuitively?
Yeah, definitely about like the strength. I guess like I convolute like direction with the fact that no matter what, it is still a sweet spot.
I would say most moves are strong the entire time, strong the entire hitbox. It's actually it's on the rarer side, I think, for moves to not be strong at the beginning. Sheik's Bear is one of the best counter examples of that. Sheik's Nair actually has a weird hitbox that can be a not strong hit at the beginning of the Nair, but it's very rare to hit with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've done weird things against Firefoxes with that.
Yeah. Marth is maybe a good example, right? Where like the spacing obviously matters a ton.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, full hop up air would lead to the better combo and also would connect. I really dislike how you played the platform situation right here. And I think it's because you didn't react to him jumping. So the trick is when you're cornered, he does dash full hop fair, and you could have somehow jumped up and bared him for it.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have done that reactively?
Yeah, honestly, I think it could have just been a like run up full hop back air.
Yep, exactly. And then the worst part to me is that even when you missed that opportunity, you didn't continue to threaten him, because what happens is after you missed it, you still did a good full hop, and when you do that full hop, you're threatening with back air still. But then you empty landed and tried to dash away, and you got fared for it. But in reality, like, I'm gonna try to pause it at the right time. So you're airborne and he's on the platform, right?
Right.
So what's stopping you from just throwing out a bear, or like wave landing, or empty landing and then up tilting, or like some sort of just anything there, right?
Yeah, and realistically nothing.
Yeah, and that's why that kind of threw me off, because I understand, not reacting perfectly to everything all the time, but I thought that if you weren't going to react immediately, you at least needed to transition into some sort of game plan afterward. And instead, you kind of just got attacked by something that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this edge guard, since you want to talk about some edge guards.
Sure. I mean, all that other information is great too, so, but...
Yeah. Cool. So right here, so this is kind of tricky, because it was a confusing spot. Most people actually react poorly here, myself included. But I think as soon as you realize that he fucks up and is going to try to steal the ledge from you, what you should probably do is immediately ledge stall.
Yeah, I think so.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. I think it was over.
It's kind of hard to do though, to realize in the moment that like, okay, I'm probably gonna get the edge from him, so I just have to immediately stall because he's gonna fuck up. That's like happens to me all the time. So I don't really like the fair to jab at all. Do you want to talk to me about what you think of this situation?
Yeah, I think I probably. I think it's risky no matter what. I think it works a lot of times where it shouldn't. Clearly, this is not spaced. I think better mix up would be to like do a fair grab. If I really wanted to poke, I think I would have to do a fair like slight wave dash back, fully spaced jab. Um, but I don't know. That's like silly. Like I think the fair grab is the better mix up in that case if I'm going to do the jab.
Well, what's the mix-up then? So fair grab is one part of the mix-up tree. What else would you do besides grab?
Yeah, I think I could fair dash back, dash forward.
Uh-huh.
I think I could fair and then okay. So sorry. Let's say okay. So grab covers the shield. I think the dash back covers some movements, mainly movement back. Could kind of cover like a fair out of shield, I guess. I think I could fair and then I could fair again potentially. Um,
Why would you fair again?
I guess fairing again would cover the same thing that the dash out would cover.
In this particular case, because you're like point blank, I would not jump again.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I would probably do. Honestly, it depends how good your fair timing was. Also, it looks like you didn't really get the max delay fair, but yeah, it's like at this very close spacing, I would consider dash, grab, spot dodger roll, and then doing a tilt maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like if you're gonna take the risk to beat like a jump or something, like at least up tilt or something does a better job of that than jab.
Right.
Oh, nice. Man, you had such good spacing there. I liked your drift and your fastball, but you didn't take advantage of it. Look at this. You like jumped and then didn't drift towards him, and then fast fell, and he
Right.
whiffed the fair, and then you kind of didn't do anything.
Right. Right.
And I think you should have at least forced a guessing game there.
Yeah, I think in my mind, it's really interesting. Yeah, I think like these kind of micro spacing things, like I probably just wasn't primed to like beat something. I was like, I just got away from something, but I never recognized like, oh, I got away from something. That's a whiff. Like, punish that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so right here, I think I found it strange that you're using Nair when he's above you in all these spots like this, because usually when someone's above you, it's all about the back airs.
Okay.
You can set up angles with back air where they literally can't beat it. But with the Nair, you kind of put yourself more out there, you know?
Yeah. I
Back
guess.
air is unbeatable at certain angles.
I mean, would you say that's like a thing that you just as a all character thing, not a Mar thing?
Yeah, that's just like a general thing about Sheik versus platform situations. Is that like, unless you're trying to beat something specific, just conceptually, very generally speaking, there is like unbeatable from certain angles.
Got it. Yeah.
I also think you're pretty slow at moving after L canceled aerials, though. You wait longer than you need to. Like,
Okay.
watch this air you do. You kind of waited for a second, and then there you shielded and waited a second. But like, you could have moved like way faster.
Yeah. I think it's very clear in the videos.
It's kind of like the dash attack we talked about too. But that's okay. It's just something to practice. But let's talk about the edge guard. So here, there's pretty much no reason not to keep much stuffing, I think.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? As soon as you see Marth drop low enough that he can't double jump to the ledge, you can literally just stall until. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, problem with this edge guard, you didn't threaten with needles early enough. So right here, you can turn it. I think jumping off stage and threatening back air is actually pretty good, and people stop doing it for some reason.
Mhm.
But like going off stage and threatening back air, and then just going back to the ledge sometimes, turning around and needling, or even using the side platform to needle him, either horizontally or jump needles, either way,
Yeah.
and then you can grab the edge. I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, there's this one timing. I don't know if it's reliable, but I've been like noticing it recently that like Sheiks will do a specific diagonal needle against a Marth that forces like a high up B.
Yeah, yeah. I think needles are just really fucking good versus Mars recovery. Um, Also, you dodged him pretty well with the rolls, but then you'll see he jumps and you don't react to it.
Yeah,
Do you see what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
So it seems that in general you don't react to when Marth full hops. So let's talk about that. So when you react to jumps, there's like two parts. The first part is seeing jump squat and recognizing that this could be a jump or a wave dash. And then the second part is recognizing that he goes airborne. And then the third part is recognizing how quickly he moves upwards, because that's what determines the short hop and the full hop, right? And the double jumps.
Yep.
So it's a three-part process, and I actually think that most people are extremely bad at distinguishing and then making decisions off of it. So I actually recommend you sit down and practice this. It could be a cool exercise. Have someone do it with you, or set a computer to do it. Not sure which, but yeah, just try studying reacting to jump squat, reacting to him going from jump squat to airborne versus jump squat to wave dash, and then react to the difference between him rising slowly, which is a short hop, versus him rising quickly, which is a full hop.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let me write that down. Yeah, to be fully transparent, I guess, it's very interesting. I only pay attention to. My main thing in this game is just where they are, like on the x-axis, and if it's a short hop, most likely a fair or a down tilt. Like that's what I'm scouting for. But it's interesting. Those are the most threatening things, but I'm not paying attention to like the least threatening thing, or like the opportunity for me to get like nice punishes, which is the full hop.
Because like it's an important part of the game, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I agree, like I focus on those things, but that doesn't mean I'm not watching for the other things, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not really a fan in general of being like, oh, I noticed he does this, so next time I know he'll do it. But it's still because I just believe that that's kind of like mumbo jumbo, and that like if people play properly, they shouldn't be predictable based off the last thing they did. But obviously, people are predictable, and it is good to note these things. So when you needled earlier, he jumped over them, right?
Yep.
And what did he do this time? He held shield. So technically, these are all mix-ups, but most players are predictable, and it's clear that he's always responding to the needle threat, right?
Right. Right.
Lots of players don't respond at all to it. And I do think determining these things and figuring out when people are likely to do different things is, very important.
Yeah, definitely. I like when I started trying to charge more neutral needles. My first thought is like, there's gonna be the fox that just completely ignores this whole thing.
Oh yeah, and there are, and then you just throw the needles at them.
Right.
Also, you definitely could have forward tilted after this fair. Is that clear?
Yeah, yeah, it looks good off based on the DI.
So if you just forward tilted, it would have been fine. And then, yeah, you just like didn't really convert this combo, which I found weird. Because after the up tilt hits, let's see what happens. Forward tilt, nair into nair. I just found that like to be a really weird choice. Because after I hit this forward tilt, I probably, you have to switch into either tech chase or not tech chase mode. And usually I would use like an up air or something. But even then, after the nair hits, like I wouldn't have naired again. I maybe would have walked up and forward tilted or jumped up and faired. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. The second nair is a mystery to me.
Okay, cool. Again, I think you being slow at grabbing the edge led to you being slow at threat. If you did grab the edge as fast as possible off the down smash, so this also goes back to not moving quickly after down smash.
Right.
But if you just did this whole sequence of down smash, grab edge, fast fall quickly enough, you would have just bared the side B in the first place.
Right.
And that's a big deal. And then once he up B's on stage, the fair was a pretty bad choice, I think. What do you think would have been better?
Let's see it. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think it could have been a down air.
Yeah, down air is like the easy choice, right?
Yeah.
Easy, good, leads to something.
Yeah, I think I was late on the jump too, so I probably like only could do fair at that point, or like I couldn't do dare at that point.
Let me see. I actually think you probably could have. I think you could have.
Okay.
Mars up B is really laggy.
Okay.
So the weird thing about this next sequence is after you hit the needle, you kind of didn't do anything, which I guess wasn't that bad, but it's like you had a pretty big advantage here, especially after he whiffed the forward smash.
Right.
But then you kind of just waited around, and then it led to you getting hit. So what do you think's up with this situation?
I think I waited. I expected him to go in after the needle, so I waited there.
Which is fine.
I wasn't ready.
But then he.
Yeah, after that point, I probably just was like, oh, he didn't go in, and then I was like not ready to do anything.
Yeah, that's a big deal though, right?
Yeah.
Because after that F smash, you easily could have, gone to the ground and probably hit him for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these, well, some of the speed things we talk about are like pretty technical. As in like anytime I do an aerial that is not just fast fall onto the ground, I think the L cancel is bad. Like whether it be going to a platform or doing something like that, like a non-fast fall aerial. So that's easy fix. The other things are like all these mental things where there are situations I'm like clearly just deciding to do something, and then when it doesn't, I'm not observing anymore. I'm only observing for the thing I'm looking for.
Yes. And I think that's the that's the fundamental problem, is that once you have something specific you're looking for, you start not interacting with the other things going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's I'm gonna have to like take some time to think about.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important. But with some practice you can fix that, I think. The next thing though, this one's also a very small optimization, but I want to talk about it because I think it's actually a big part of Sheik Marth.
Sure.
And it's about part of being good in general. But watch where this down air trades with him. If you fast fell to the ground and then dashed immediately after fast fell to the platform and then dashed immediately after the trade, you would have been able to combo that down air.
Yeah.
Can you like see that, or is it not really clear?
It's pretty clear.
Cool. So that's a big deal. In general, that's just like a sign of being a good melee player, optimizing each situation. But also versus a character like Marth, a lot of the reasons Sheik does well is because when random things happen, they almost always tend to favor her in the scramble.
Yeah. Let me note that down.
Oof.
Yeah, those are all pretty wishful.
Let's watch again. So this was weird to me because the way you drifted right here felt like you knew you were dodging something. Like the way you drifted helped you dodge his up air, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you still went for the nair. But I can't figure out why you would have drifted that way unless you were trying to dodge an up air. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's interesting to think about. And then that nair was just like you just forced it really hard for no reason at all.
Sure.
Also, if you executed it cleanly, you probably would have got your shield up in time. That's also worth noting.
Fair. Yeah.
And then, honestly, it looked like you didn't DI at first. And I don't mean like you DI badly. I mean like the first two fairs, it looks like you did not hold any direction. And
Yeah.
then after the first two fairs, you just held in,
Yeah.
which is bad for other reasons. So I mean, that's like about and you can work on.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So yeah, what do you think overall? Now that we've kind of gone through the whole game.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. I wrote down like a whole page of notes, so let me just synthesize a little bit.
There's a ton of kind of get the general gist of it.
Yeah, I think there are three things mainly. So I'll start off with like the easiest things to change. I think there are some just punish flowcharts that need to be changed. Like I think turning around and up tilting, consistently doing that. It surprisingly didn't punish me that much this time, but doing that, the understanding of the up air will actually set up a lot of like combos onto the platform, kind of like shining onto the platform. Like I think so many of those were free punishes and would have been like full conversions. I think the next thing that we talked about is speed of like landing during the aerials. I think that kind of bit me a lot. I guess the last one we talked about where it trades and then I could have fastballed. It's like kind of related. But yeah, just all these timings, making sure that I dash out of things quickly or fastball out of things quickly. Or sorry, not dash out, but just act out of aerials quickly. At like weird timings. Some in my control, some that kind of come up randomly in scrambles. And then I think the last thing is just like this mental note that like in all these situations where I'm doing things to get out of situations,
you're not paying attention anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are my main takeaways, I would say.
No, I think so. I definitely think when you're paying attention and reacting versus when you, and this is exactly the same as when you already have something in mind. Like when you have something you're looking for, you don't observe what's happening. They're like the same problem.
Right.
It's like I think you not punishing his F smash is actually the same problem as you, not watching him when you're running off the platform, right?
Right.
Then we talked about some tech skill stuff related to edge guarding. I think that's a pretty big deal. But let's watch some of the next game.
Yeah.
And see.
I'm gonna write some key bullet points. Cool.
Yeah, I definitely think you're very inefficient with your movement decisions and tech skill watching this game. Like, if you watch even from the beginning, like, look at that Waveland. It was just very, like, slow, and it didn't really accomplish much. And then afterwards, you messed up the needle direction. And then there, you kind of just casually double jump to the top platform, but you didn't Waveland at all, which is, much slower.
Right.
And then I think here you missed your L cancel. So those are the kind of things that I think, they end up mattering so much. I'm also very confused by, like, how you're getting fared like this. And how did this even happen? Yeah, I think, like, there. You didn't hold shield. That's what was weird. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these little things, I mean, they matter a lot, because, like, think about how bad him full jump fairing. Think of it from that perspective.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's like a terrible full jump fair, right?
Yeah.
Like, this Marth player does some extremely bad options. But, like, you're not really doing the, like, obvious thing of just, like, shielding or something to, like, take advantage of it. Nice, you got the turn. Nice. Oh, I think you should have been off stage threatening with Bear immediately. As soon as you hit this fair, some sort of needle turnaround, some sort of threatening. The full jump needles aren't bad, but they're pretty bad if he double jumps early, which he didn't, but he could have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the priority list is you want to think about the fact that he could double jump early. So you want to imagine how, like, having the Bear out off stage threatens him double jumping early, and then you transition into the low situation. But by you full jump needling, you're only covering him not jumping early, which isn't good. Funnily enough, you were right, but then you also didn't even time your jump correctly to account for it.
Right.
because you totally would have killed him. And then here again, you should just start ledge stalling once he gets low enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we've definitely talked about this type of movement before.
Because you could have just double jumping onto the top platform, right?
Right, exactly.
But then you fast fell back towards him, which is, where he is. Oh, you could have grabbed that roll. So this is kind of tricky, and most people are not very good at it, but you want to react to the startup of the roll, right?
Got it.
And I think if you saw the startup frames of the roll, you would have easily punished it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Oh no. Yeah, you just didn't have to get up from the ledge, right?
Yeah, I'm actually very bad about knowing when to just do get-ups. Like, I always roll.
It sounds like you're just not reacting then. Because, like, okay, so, like, look when he up B's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you see how, like, clearly you decided to jump from the ledge?
Right.
Within the time that you could have reacted to the up B?
Yeah, in this case, it was pretty obvious. I guess, in general, I rarely get up.
Okay. I mean, I think if you just do the ledge stall, you never have to worry about these things.
Got it.
The ledge stall is really good. Also, he whiffs F smash and you don't punish it again, and this is starting to concern me because I'm wondering, like that.
Right.
So do you not think that F smash has enough lag to punish it there?
I think it's a very slow reaction. This guy never F smashes.
That's interesting. Well, like, you clearly dashed forward, right? So, like after that wayland back and you dashed forward, I feel like you knew he whiffed it at that point.
That's true. That's totally true. I don't know.
Like, so I think you just don't realize how laggy it is.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch this video, is it obvious to you that you could have punished it?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that it's somewhere when you're playing, it's somehow not obvious.
Right.
I'll go ahead and tell you that if you hit a Marth and they're airborne, they'll double jump out of hit stun almost 100% of the time.
Okay.
So, like, where you bared him there and
Right.
went for the grab,
Yeah.
it's just a mix-up between going for the read versus reading the jump, but I'm going to go ahead and say almost every Marth ever just jumps.
Okay.
This is purely empirical.
Yeah.
Gonna punish that F smash. Okay, so you should just write down that F smash is really laggy or something.
Yeah, I got it in all caps that F smash is laggy.
Yeah, like right there. Where you needled on wake up?
Yeah.
Also, so when a Marth down airs you, I think you actually don't want to Omsa tech it. You do want to hold down, but you don't want the Omsa tech.
Okay. Yeah, it's not as laggy as F smash.
Easily hit you there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, also, we're running out of time. I'm not sure if you have another lesson.
No, I don't have a lesson after this. I'm just gonna shower and then go get dinner probably. So I'm down to watch like 5 more minutes because we did start pretty late,
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
and starting late was on me, not you. So let's. Nice. I think this is also a really common scenario versus Marth where like you can't get a follow up without getting fared. And I think just like accepting that you can't get the follow up is pretty important.
Okay.
Do you see the spot I'm talking about?
Yeah, definitely. He like DIs the reverse hitbox pretty hard out.
Yeah, it's just like not punishable.
Do you usually like try to CC it, or would you like just let it go?
I don't know. Like sometimes there's a way to CC it or whiff punish it, but sometimes I feel like there's just literally nothing you can do.
Yeah, I've recently been thinking like there are a lot of times where people are spacing their aerials better than they used to, and I used to be able to CC down tilt, but I feel as though like CC dash can cover it.
Yeah, if the aerial is early, you definitely can.
Okay.
So that's a definitely valid thing. That like if you feel like he has to aerial pretty early, then you could probably dash forward and CC it. No, you should not have done that.
That's
So
fair.
that's a pretty good thing to do in general. But here, look how low he is. And this was his own fault for having a bad recovery. But look how low he went before moving forward.
Yeah.
Right there. That's when you know he can't make it anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, I'm in like the midst of like changing my flowchart for edge guarding. Like, I love diagonal needles right now, but
Oh yeah, they're super good. It's just he was already dead.
yeah, yeah, fair.
I also do this needle all the time. But yeah, he was just already dead. Those needles will like almost always get you hit, I feel like.
Fair.
Yeah. It's the trap. Nice. I feel like that was a good combo, but you didn't like react during half of that combo. Like just looking at the timings you used, it feels like right here and there. Those dash attacks were not the best timed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think like the third one was like, let's see it.
Yeah, the last one especially was like very clearly preemptive, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was a good dash attack. It's just you might as well have confirmed what he did, you know?
Right.
And then here, you should just ledge stall a bunch. Like him going low to recover is actually quite bad because you can literally just ledge stall.
Right.
Yeah, so this is kind of tricky. You're like probably missing the Amsa tech because he's hitting you at the last second instead of early. But
Yeah.
I will say that if you recover so that you don't have to fall from very high up, then he kind of only has one timing he can hit you at. But like when you fall really high, it kind of makes it so that he has so long that he has more chances to hit you.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. But also, just be aware that most people tend to hit Sheik at the end of her lag. They don't usually hit her early when they're playing more. So, like, if you're unsure, just delay your tech more.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap up then. Any final thoughts, or are we good?
No, that's a lot of things to work on. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm guessing. Does Spark talk to you about this matchup at all?
We have not really talked about it.
Okay. Well, this is the same Marth that that he plays all the time. That's like trying to beat him currently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But no, yeah, I was just asking. Other than that, I think like everything that we talked about is very like transparent and pretty clear. So
Cool. That's great.